Thank you for attending the virtual roadshow. And I'm talking to Martha Shingani from W&RSeta. Hi, Martha. Can you please give us an overview of W&RSeta?
Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Shingange. I'm the head of marketing and communications at the Wholesale and Retail SETA. It's an absolute pleasure for us to be part of the SMME Roadshow. The Wholesale and Retail SETA is one of 21 SETAs in South Africa. We were established in the year 2000, and our mandate is to facilitate education and training, so that is skills development, in the various economic sectors where we are in. The W&RSeta operates within the wholesale and retail sector, and that is the fourth biggest contributor to the country's economy. Our sector, as many of you will be familiar with, it comprises mainly of large retailers, and the ones that we are most familiar with, that would be your Woolworths, your Truworths, and all those other large companies. But we also have quite a huge percentage of small businesses, which is the reason why we are at this event, because we service the small, medium, and micro enterprises. And now these companies, they make up over 80% of our sector, believe it or not. They are the biggest component of wholesale and retail. So yes, that is the wholesale and retail SETA. We operate in this wholesale and retail sector. Our responsibility is to ensure that the skills development of people who are working in the industry, people who are owning businesses in the industry, but most importantly, getting those that are outside the industry who want to come into our industry, to make sure that they have the relevant skills so that they can contribute to the growth and the development of our sector.
What are some of the specific skills development initiatives that W&RSeta has in place to help grow the entrepreneurship sector?
So, as a SETA, we facilitate, the support that we provide to young people and to the businesses. In that, we've got training providers that we work with. So we work through projects. We open up projects whereby we then contract training providers that will be able to assist these young people with the skills that they need. So, for example, we've got the entrepreneurship development program, whereby we take young people through a 6-month program where we just teach them about entrepreneurship. And ideally, this should be young people who have already started their own businesses. Then we support them, teach them how to actually run a business. And that training is actually facilitated by accredited training providers. And at the end of that, as a SETA, we invest a certain amount. It's currently up to 30,000 rands, so that they can invest back into their businesses. So we also collaborate a lot, and that's what we're always looking out for with business, for example, particularly your large businesses as well, in terms of their SMME development programs, because they're able to provide the stock, for example, that these young people might require after the skills development. Because remember, as a SETA, we are responsible for skills development. But then once we have skilled you, you could be needing some kind of infrastructure support. For example, you might be needing a container to go and operate, your business from. Then you need stock and other things. Then we endeavor to partner with businesses and other government organizations. So, for example, your SEDA that looks after the small businesses, the small enterprise development agency. You might be working with SEFA, which is the small enterprise financing agency of government. We can also work with the Department of Small Business and Development, because their mandate is it's extended beyond skills development. So we're able to make a meaningful contribution to these businesses when we come together. But from a SETA's perspective, we get training providers, they implement the training, They do the recruitment, obviously. They will make it public that we are now seeking to recruit young people within this age category, within these businesses. But obviously, it must be a retail business. We don't take from any other industries. Thereafter, they conduct the training, and at the end of the training, then the W&RSeTA then provides that small grant to allow that young person to go and invest that money back into their business.
That's brilliant. Could you give us a broader view of the mandate of W&RSeTA and its programs relevant to SMEs?
The skills development system, in terms of how it works, is that small companies with a payroll of over 500,000 rand annually, they are automatically registered to a SETA, right? So when they register their company with SARS, they are then allocated a SETA. That automatically makes them eligible to participate in all the SETA's programs. So for those companies, what we normally do, and we do have quite a lot in that small category, we open up grants every financial year, whereby we provide about 18,000 rands for these companies to actually identify skills gaps within their own companies. They can tell us and to say that we need financial management for the business owner or for some of the employees within the company. It could be customer service, whatever the skills it might be. They determine that, and the SETA will provide them a grant of up to 18,000 rands annually. There are also other special programs that we run. So, for example, small companies can bring in young people into their companies. They can offer skill learnerships if they're in a position to do that for young unemployed people as well as their own employees. They will also have management development programs, which are quite important when you're also running your own small business. We offer that as well as the SETA. We also have international programs whereby we expose business people or executive and senior managers to cutting edge retail practices locally as in South Africa as well as internationally. Then for those that are not above the 500,000 threshold that I mentioned earlier, we also have programs for them as well because they remain our responsibility. Every small business, whether it's the mama on the street selling magwinya, whether it's someone working from their home in a spaza shop, we have a responsibility to also assist them. So for those ones as well, the SETA on an annual basis, we have different programs that we are running throughout the year. Whether you are an informal trader, there will be a program for you. Whether you are a small business, there will be a program for you. We open what we call grant funding windows, and these windows, they're accessed by training providers. So we don't deal directly with the companies, at some of the levels, depending on the program. Then they can apply when that particular training provider has advertised. So we get our training providers to actually advertise those programs. Then they select these companies based on their set criteria that the SETA would have determined. So if the company then meets that criteria, then they are able to participate and benefit from all of those programs. So we encourage small businesses to be part of associations. There's quite a lot of associations out there that are looking at the interests of small businesses. Even in our sector, we have such. I can mention a few. You'll have your Black Business Council. You have the NAFCOX of this world. We are encouraging them to be part of those networks because that's the connection between government organizations and these businesses. And like they say, there's strength in numbers. So do not isolate yourself sitting there and trying to do everything on your own. There is actually help out there. So go out there and find out about the associations that are representing small businesses. Talk to us, ask us about the organizations that are represented in our sector through obviously our board. Then and we can then connect you with them so that you are part of such networks, and then you can also receive the support that we're talking about, also information to other opportunities that are out there. So there is help out there. Do not isolate yourself. Go out there, network with other businesses. That is very important. There is no way that you can grow on your own. You need the support. So connect, connect, connect.
What have been some of the skills development success stories you can share with us?
The benefits of participating in skills development, they are quite numerous. But the most important one as a business owner is having skilled people, because once you have skilled people, you know that your business is going to be properly run. And we've got numerous stories that can attest to this in terms of how their business processes have just been improved, their efficiency by taking their own employees on various programs that the SETA provides through the skills development system, whereby they've also taken people onto learnerships, but also at leadership level. I mean, we've got some of our entrepreneurs who are owning businesses, fuel retailers, um, some of those examples who have actually been part of our international leadership development programs, and they have come back with quite a lot of learnings that they have implemented in their own companies, that they can now say that my business is actually running so much better because I have been taught the principles of running a business, but also of the networks that I've actually gained from the SETA, because now I belong to a specific association that is just guiding me through the ropes. So it's an investment worth making. It's an investment worth putting the time and the effort, taking your employees for the training programs. We know that it requires time, but you can benefit. You can benefit from that time that you are taking out of your business, because when your people come back, they have changed. They are more capacitated. They're more empowered. They're more confident. They have learned so much that they can bring into the business to even make up for that time that you might think that you actually lost in the first place. So it's very important that companies actually invest in skills development, because it takes so much time doing certain things when people are not capacitated. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of companies actually ensuring that they themselves, as business owners, especially small business owners, they are capacitated to run their businesses, but also the people who work with them to ensure that they're properly trained so that they can run efficient businesses. Not only efficient, but also profitable. Profitable, because that is the important part of running your own business, because when they become profitable, then they're able to hire more people, employ more people, thereby addressing the issue of unemployment. So when your business grow, obviously you'll need more people, and it can only grow when you have the necessary skills and experience and the knowledge to be able to grow your business. I think a lot of SMMEs, they do see the benefit of training their staff. The biggest challenge is time, because some of the programs can be quite long, requiring their employees to be out of the business for a while. And for a small business, that can be very hectic, having one person out. So as a SETA, that's the reason why there are various programs that they can actually participate um, in the different time periods that will be required to suit your needs. But it's quite important that companies actually look for programs that suit their unique needs. But at the end of the day, at some point, the investment has got to be made. If you want productivity, you need skilled people, and to have people skilled, it takes time. So SMMEs, we have found generally that they they are prepared to invest. The only challenge for them is the time that it takes for that kind of, investment. So we encourage all of our SMMEs to make the investment. It's an investment into the future, and as the world works, you cannot get something out of nothing. You've got to invest so that you can get something back. It's an investment worth making, and we encourage all of our SMMEs to prioritize the training of their staff. Their businesses cannot grow without a skilled and a competent and a professional workforce. It is absolutely, absolutely important that we get our people trained and capacitated.
What are the opportunities in your industry that you believe SMMEs can take advantage of in the coming year?
So COVID-19 has really leapfrogged a lot of companies into the fourth industrial revolution. And that has applied for the wholesale and retail sector. I mean, it's a completely new animal that we are starting. We need to get ourselves to understand, particularly for our industry, which is wholesale and retail. We have found that, through the various research that we have conducted during this period, that online learning it's quite key. It is quite key because, I mean, for extended periods, shops were closed, training couldn't happen. So our companies had to now look for ways, and as well as our training providers, they had to look for ways in terms of ensuring that there is continuity, because we cannot stop. The country cannot stop, the economy cannot stop. And we've also then had to start accrediting training providers to be able to deliver programs online. So we have found that our training providers have been, up for the challenge. They've risen to the occasion, and training has actually continued. So there's quite a lot of the programs that they are offering, as in our training providers within our space, and even other space, even in the space of other SETAs. So in the event, the way the SETAs work, we've got programs that are offered by different SETAs. So, for example, customer service, whilst it's needed, it cuts across almost all the industries, right? I think we'll agree that customer service cuts across all the industries. It's not a W&RSeta qualification or a program. It belongs to another SETA, and that is services SETA. So if the program is not available with us as a SETA, we do have a working arrangement as SETAs. That SETA is a particular SETA. When they have actually accredited that particular program, that our companies within our sectors actually require, it is possible for those companies to actually get the training that is accredited by another SETA delivered for a company that is within the wholesale and retail SETA. So there is that kind of collaboration with the SETAs, because it's a system. It's one big system. So, for example, there are issues of logistics and transport that apply to retail, because the retail value chain will involve logistics, it will involve transport. But these skills, or the qualifications and the programs, they do not reside with the W&RSeTA, they actually with the transport SETA. So it is possible for a company to get skills, various skills that are required for their company that might not necessarily be with the W&RSeTA, but they are accredited with another SETA. It is possible, and the SETA will provide funding for such training programs. We work with trade unions. We provide management and executive leadership programs. We also offer bursaries. So even small businesses, when they want to pursue their PhDs, their MBAs, the W&RSeta actually funds those programs, because we want them to have the necessary skills, the necessary education, because we want to position wholesale and retail as a career of choice. We don't want young people to think that retail is only about packing stuff, about being a cashier. Well, that's an entry into bigger things. We've got people with PhDs in retail who are owning their businesses, but also who are occupying very high positions in some of the large retailers. So there's quite a lot of opportunities within our SETA. Um, it's quite a lot from any level, from school level. We offer career guidance to young people so that we attract them into our sector. We provide them with bursaries, and once they're in them, there's workplace experience programs that we run, internships for young people to obtain their qualifications, but also for those who want practical experience so that they can, improve their chances of being employed. So we do provide such programs as well.
Do you have a key message you would like to share with SMME owners?
So as we move into the new normal that COVID-19 has created, it's also going to be very important for companies to start aligning their skills planning into what we're actually seeing in the country. So companies will now more than ever need to ensure that they're able to get into the e-commerce space for the periods, uncertain periods that we are heading towards and into the future. They should be able to prepare their businesses to continue operating even during the periods of disruptions that have just become so uncertain. I mean, we are having this event at a time where South Africa is on lockdown, and a lot of people are minimizing fit into stores. So creating that digital platform to be able to continue operating is going to be very, very important. So the digital era is here. It's no longer something into the future, something that we still need to think about. We are now, all of us are being thrown into the deep end, and it's time that we just plan around that, because if we don't, it means that the companies, the businesses will not be able to continue. So we encourage our small businesses to explore even in a very small scale. You don't need to go very big, but a certain component of your business must be able to operate digitally as we move forward, to ensure that as a company you can continue to operate even during periods where people would not be able to physically come into your business.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing your time with us, Martha.
Thank you so very much for your attention and for listening to me in this talk. You are most welcome to continue with the conversation. You can visit our virtual expo on this very platform. You can also follow us on our various social media networks. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are also on LinkedIn, and our website is www.wrseta.org.za.
That was Martha Shingani from W&RSeta.